James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
A pleasant good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Lewis Sports Network. It is your boy Lewis coming back at you once again with another heavy hitter banger with yet another video. Smash the like, hit that subscribe, make sure to share, make sure that your notifications are turned on, and sharing on your social media platforms truly appreciated. Hope everybody is enjoying their weekend here on June 26th. On to the video. So the video of this title is Scottie Pippen is disrespecting his own legacy with his insecurities when we compare himself to Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is, here's something in common. What does Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant all have that Scottie Pippen does not have? They've been regular season MVP. In LeBron's case, he's won 4 of them. They've all been finals MVP. KD and Kobe have 2, and LeBron has 4. Scottie Pippen does not have a regular season MVP. Scottie Pippen does not have a finals MVP. All Scottie Pippen has is an all-star MVP, which all 3 of them have won. And Scottie's jealous of Michael Jordan because he's insecure about where he stands among the greatest of all time. Scottie Pippen feels that the amount of credit he should get should be far beyond any type of measure that just about any other number 2 complimentary player has gotten in their career. Now, Scottie Pippen says that if you look at what he said about Kevin Durant after Durant lost in Game 7 to the Bucks, he basically said that KD, as great of a scorer as he is, he hasn't been asked to do what a player like LeBron has, and Kevin Durant is nowhere near LeBron's level because he has never willed a team to win an NBA title. Now, he also said some blasphemy stuff, saying that LeBron won the 2016 NBA championship on his own without a single star. Now, Scottie Pippen, we got to understand something and put this into context. Now, it's true. Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving did not make the All-Star team in 2016, just like you didn't make the All-Star team in 1991 with Michael Jordan. But I'm not going to sit here and say that you did not help Michael win an NBA title, just like you can't be stupid enough to say that Kyrie Irving did not help LeBron win an NBA title, because if I'm not mistaken, Scotty, you're an integral part of Jordan winning his first championship, just like Kyrie was an integral part in LeBron winning the championship in Cleveland in 2016, helping LeBron coming down from 3-1 because LeBron did not do it by his damn self. We have too many double standards. If it's Jordan did it by himself, which he clearly did not. He had in my opinion, the greatest number 2 in NBA history, is Scottie Pippen. LeBron didn't win it by himself. Even if Kyrie Irving did not make an all-star team that year, neither did Kevin Love. The bottom line is, and also Kyrie missed half the season, the bottom line is, when it mattered, Kyrie played his absolute best and helped LeBron win the title. Kyrie averaged 27 in the series against the Warriors. And as a matter of fact, from games 3 to 7, Kyrie averaged 30 points per game. So you can't sit here and say that neither Jordan or LeBron didn't have a number 2. Like, it's true. Neither one of them won one without the other. But what's getting me really interested about Scotty is his jealousy of Michael Jordan is really rearing its ugly head. Like, you have to think about this, Scotty. You're a 6-time NBA champion. How many players, great players, that were head and shoulders franchise players never even got the chance to win an NBA title? You look at a guy like Elgin Baylor, franchise player, but had to retire 9 games into the 72 season with his knee injury. And he missed out on an opportunity to win a championship with Jerry West and Will Chamberlain. What about Charles Barkley? He was the league MVP in '93, and who did he lose to? Jordan, you, and the Chicago Bulls. And he's haunted by the '93 finals because he gets clowned about never winning an NBA championship. And he was the franchise player. Look at John Stockton and Karl Malone. How many years did they play together? They went to 2 NBA finals. Did they win an NBA title? No. And as a matter of fact, the way that they lost 97 and 98 were very heartbreaking in their franchise history. They didn't win an NBA title. Take a look at Clyde Drexler in his prime until he joined Hakeem Olajuwon. Clyde Drexler, up to that point, up to 90, Clyde had 12 years in the league, and he had not won an NBA title, and he was the franchise player in Portland. You look at Patrick Ewing, look at his career, how different it would have been if he won an NBA title. Look at David Robinson's career as the number 1 guy, former MVP. Not until Tim Duncan was drafted did David Robinson win multiple titles. So my thing is, you look at Alonzo Mourning, one of the best defensive centers of his time. He didn't win an NBA title as the franchise player of the Miami Heat. So that's my point. You look at Shaquille O'Neal, he has an MVP. He won 3 finals MVPs, but let's face it, he was being regarded as one of the greatest players to never be able to win one until Kobe emerged as to be able to be his Robin and then eventually become the Batman to Shaq's Superman. So my point is, you don't win it alone, Scottie Pippen. But like I said, you have championships that most great players wish they had in your position, my friend. You just want to be recognized as a number 1, and Scotty, you were never a number 1. You're always going to be remembered as a number 2. Does Scottie Pippen deserve credit for what a great player he was? Absolutely. The greatest defensive small forward in NBA history, in my opinion. You're talking about a 10-time All-Defender, 7-time All-Star, 1994 All-Star Game MVP. But like I said before, what does Scottie Pippen have in common with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant? He was never the best player in the regular season, and he was never the best player in the NBA Finals. And that eats Scottie Pippen alive, because the 98 NBA Finals, through the first 3 games of that series, Scottie was making a case for MVP until he hurt his back. After he hurt his back, he was never the same player the rest of the series, and Michael Jordan ended up winning Finals MVP. Also, let's remember that in 1998, after the Bulls won the title in 97, let's not forget that Scottie Pippen said that he was not going to let the Bulls organization ruin his summer vacation, so he was going to put surgery on hold until the start of the season, which is exactly what he did. The Bulls started 8-7, and people were thinking to themselves, you know what? It looks like Scottie Pippen is really, really much more valuable than people think. What did Jordan and Dennis Rodman do? Scottie Pippen is obviously important to that Bulls team. But what did they do? They rode the ship until Scottie got back. And what was their record through 35 games? They went 16-4 in the next 20 games and were 24-11. Scottie got jealous of that. He saw that, and he realized they were starting to forget about Scottie to a certain degree, to where he had to come back after his injury, because he didn't want to be the forgotten man, and that he wanted to be a part of the Bulls winning the title. And that's my point. Insecurity on Scottie Pippen's part. The same guy that said that LeBron James is the greatest player he's ever seen and Jordan is just the greatest scorer, but he's not the greatest player. He said that in 2011. People are saying you have the right to have an opinion. Right. But here's the problem with Scottie Pippen. He changes his opinions every 2 to 3 years on who's the greatest of all time. He, not too long ago, said that when LeBron was struggling in LA his first year, he said that LeBron does not have the clutch gene that Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan has. Well, we all know that LeBron is an underrated clutch player. I just don't think he's clutch at the level of Jordan. But that's not to say that LeBron has never been a clutch player in his career. That's not true. I've just been noted to the fact that LeBron has also been able to quit when things are not in his favor. Okay? So here's me giving LeBron credit, but also knowing LeBron's flaws too. But getting back to what he said about Kevin Durant, that Kevin Durant doesn't really know how to utilize a team, that he doesn't really know how to get teammates involved like LeBron James. He doesn't know how to really make players around him better, and that Kevin Durant has never willed the team to an NBA championship. I don't agree with you, Scottie Pippen, because first of all, Kevin Durant has been a great teammate his entire career. Kevin Durant has been a great teammate his entire career. I do agree with you that Kevin is really more so known as a scorer, but you have to also understand, yes, he did play with Steph Curry and he played with Klay Thompson. But people wondered, was Kevin Durant going to be a distraction because he now had a team to where he could be the guy in terms of he could just go one-on-one? No, Kevin Durant bought into the system, and Kevin Durant won 2 finals MVPs because of it. Because he got to showcase his skills, and on top of the fact he got to play team basketball. He got to unveil all aspects of his game on a better team. The whole thing with 2016, I blame Kevin Durant for that. I'm on record as blaming KD. KD doesn't get a pass from me for what happened in 2016. But I told you guys this, when you play a team that plays team ball compared to a team that plays hero ball, even though OKC was more talented than Golden State, OKC's hero ball was going to be their demise as the series went on. And you saw that because they started to turn the ball over. They tried to do too much. Also, OKC did not have the shooting, and their coaching was abysmal. On top of that, you have to blame the 2 stars, Russ and KD. KD does not get a pass for that series. I'm sorry. But getting back to what Kevin Durant said, Kevin Durant then G-checked you and said, wasn't you the guy that in 1994, in the NBA playoffs against the New York Knicks, decided to take himself out of the game because the play design was not for you, it was designed for Tony Kukoc. What people forget is that Tony Kukoc hit 3 game winners. 3. He hit 3 in that 94 season. Scottie Pippen missed 10 games that year. Horace Grant missed 12 games. B.J. Armstrong was the only starter on that team that played all 82 games. Also, B.J. Armstrong and Horace Grant both made the All-Star team. And I compared the 94 Bulls to the 2020 Raptors because the 2020 Raptors were trying to prove that they were not a Kawhi-led team. That's why everybody played harder and everybody's numbers were good, if not slightly better than the year before, during the championship year. Scottie Pippen failed to show his leadership at a time that he was supposed to show his leadership. Phil Jackson knew that as great as you are not the closer of a basketball team. I almost said championship, I meant to say basketball. And my thing is, Scotty has been going on this for years and years, and you notice that Isaiah Thomas, the great Isaiah Thomas, has used you, the number 2 that he does not like, and you don't like him, to diminish Jordan. Scottie Pippen's coming out with a book. This is why I said that I can't take Scottie Pippen seriously, because now he's trying to get financial gain pretty much off of what he's been complaining about the respect that he feels like he's not getting, and feel like The Last Dance was pretty much was used in a way to disrespect him. Well, a lot of people wanted to see what the Bulls were about, and you got it. I said to a certain degree it was overglorifying Jordan, but did you remember what Jordan said in the beginning of that clip? He said, I don't win my championships without Scottie Pippen. So I think he gave you the ultimate respect. Did you remember you got called out by Bill Cartwright? Did you understand that that all the guys on the team couldn't believe that you quit on the team in Game 3? Well, people forget about that Game 3 in '94 when they played the Knicks. Do y'all remember when Derek Harper got into that fight with JoJo English? Derek Harper got suspended in Games 4 and 5 of that series. They're lucky, and the Knicks got lucky because of that Hubert Davis call in Game 5. But besides the point, KD then checked you about that, and it's like, how you gonna say that? Also, then say that 2016 LeBron won a title without any help. When we say that about Michael Jordan in 1991, they say, well, Scottie Pippen guarded Magic, and that's when the series changed. See, this is what happens when you don't do your research. I saw that entire series. Michael Jordan guarded Magic 85 to 90% of the time. In Game 2, Scottie Pippen guarded him in the first half. And then in Game 3, he guarded him in the second half of that game. But what do we also forget about that series? Scottie Pippen fouled out in Game 3. You don't believe me? Go back and watch Game 3 of that series. Scottie Pippen fouled out of Game 3. Here's what I'm going to give Scotty respect for. In Game 5 of the 91 finals, guess how many points Scotty had? He outscored Jordan by 2. Scotty had 32 points, Jordan had 30. Jordan shot more efficient than Pippen, but Pippen led all scorers in Game 5, in the clinching Game 5 with 32 points. Which shows you he contributed to those championship teams. And I said that Pippen was great in the first repeat. He was very horrible in the second one. But in the first 3 championships, Scottie Pippen was unbelievable. In Jordan's, in 91, 92, 93, Scotty was unbelievable in those championship teams. Unbelievable. But Scottie Pippen needs to come to reality. You are disrespecting yourself because you are mad at Jordan because he was not financially helping you. And it's like, Scotty, you're a grown man at this point. And the funny thing is, the one time that Jordan helped you, you came out on the 4 Letter Network and said, this is what greatness is. You win 3 straight championships. You then retire to go play baseball. You then come back and then you win 3 more championships. That is greatness. You don't believe me there? Go check the tape and look it up. This is why I continue to tell you folks, do your research. Scotty is acting like a damn diva. He sees a lot of LeBron in himself. But like I said, what is the difference about LeBron, Kobe, and KD? All of them were the best players in the regular season, and they were the best players in the NBA Finals. And it eats you alive, Scottie Pippen. It eats you alive. That's the problem. It eats you alive. And the problem is, I don't mean to bring this up, but the thing is, you're not even doing a really good job controlling your home life. Okay? That also shows me that you're not somebody that takes control of their household. There's a lot of problems going on, and it's like, you don't even know really what to do. And it's like, again, that's personal. You leave that to the side, and it's private, and I get that. Okay? But at the same time, you cannot just come out here and then just say about KD not being a true team player, which is not true. If you look at KD's career, KD has been a team player. He has. Think about it. People were hoping that stuff didn't work out with him against when he joined Golden State, and it worked out. KD was a team player. Despite the fact that he wanted to play ISO at times, in his second season, he stayed to the game plan and won another title and won another Finals MVP. The thing is, Scotty wants to be regarded as the best, but it's just not going to happen. And the thing is, in '94, he finished third in MVP, right? But Hakeem Olajuwon was the best player in '94. So that's hard to say. And Hakeem didn't have All-Stars on his team. And that's really more so legit. He won a championship without All-Stars in '94. Okay? Horace Grant and B.J. Armstrong were All-Stars the year that you played with them. And Horace Grant missed 12 games and you missed 10. John Paxson missed 55. The certain fan club that likes to go, oh, but Jordan had John Paxson. He had Steve Kerr. John Paxson, like I said, John Paxson was unbelievable, knocking down mid-range shots. They won 55 games without Jordan. What people forget about the '93 season was that the Bulls coasted that year when they won 57 games, because if you remember, Jordan and Pippen were playing in Barcelona, and when they played in Barcelona, guess what? They didn't have enough time to recuperate for the start of the '92-'93 season. The Bulls played better the second half of the year. But if the Bulls wanted to go full throttle, they would have won more than 60 games in '93 if they wanted to. But they coasted because of how much basketball they played from the '92 playoffs to the Olympics back to the regular season. It's amazing how people don't put context into that. When I hear that Jordan was 1-9 without Pippen, I've heard dudes today when I'm looking at YouTube comments talking about that Jordan was out the first round in the first 7 years. And I'm like, no, Jordan was out of the first round, lost in the first round the first 3 years. But from 1988 to 1990, he lost in the second round and went to 2 straight Eastern Conference Finals. And then in his 7th season, he won an NBA title with Scottie Pippen. And Scottie Pippen did not make the All-Star team in 1991. But am I going to sit here and say that Scottie didn't help Jordan win a title? No. Scottie Pippen made the All-Star team the year before in 1990. But we're not going to talk about the migraine headache where he played 42 minutes and only scored, 2 points? I think Scottie got anxiety because of the pressure. And the thing is, Scottie is not a pressure player. Scottie Pippen plays well within the flow of the game. But when the pressure's on, Scotty is not a guy you depend on. So yeah, Scotty was upset that Tony didn't pass him the ball. But at the same time, Phil does know the deal and I was on record as saying, well, why didn't Phil put his hands and trust on the best player? Scottie Pippen came out with an article. You know what he said? He said that my job was never really meant to be the number one guy. I was a team player. That's my problem with Scotty. He constantly changes his minds for narratives. That's what Scottie Pippen does. When Scotty says something, it is to get you to react. Once he does that, he's done his job. This book is supposed to come out November 16th. But this is why. Scottie Pippen, for an all-time great, for an all-time 50 greatest players of all time, he's very insecure about his legacy. He's very insecure. And he's not going to let it go. He's going to continue to put hot takes, whoever is paying him to say these things. Do you hear Kyrie Irving even really talk about the shot in 2016? Like helping LeBron win an NBA title? You know what the 4-letter network does? They only put LeBron's block and they don't even mention about Kyrie's shot, but Kyrie doesn't go out and complain about it. So yeah, does Kevin Durant still have something to prove in terms of, what he's got to do to help to will a team to an NBA title? Yeah, he does. And I didn't give KD excuses. I didn't give him any excuses. People could sit here and they could check the receipts. I didn't give Kevin Durant a pass. So KD will not get a pass from me from losing to the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not gonna happen. 0 for 6 in OT. Yeah, he was tired. He played 53 minutes. You could blame Steve Nash on his poor coaching. Guys didn't make shots. But again, it's always going to go back to the superstar, so it comes full circle. KD's going to get the blame. But what he said about Scottie Pippen is absolutely right, and he G-checked him for real. So Scottie was like, oh, people are saying, well, Scottie, he didn't take it personal. He was just saying what Kevin Durant didn't do. First of all, Kevin Durant is better than LeBron right now, okay? Kevin Durant is 32, LeBron is 36. When we're talking all time, LeBron is better than KD, okay? And it's not close. Maybe you can say the games are close or whatnot, but again, Kevin Durant still has a lot more to put on his resume. Kevin Durant to this day has still yet to make an all-defensive team. And he's had some of his underrated best defensive seasons since he went to Golden State. But he's not getting it because he's not liked by the media. So that's my point. So this is a lengthy video, but I needed to just kill some myths, because we need to pay attention that what Scotty's doing is he's trying to make sure that he's relevant, that he's in the spotlight, that Scotty gets attention. Whether you agree or disagree with his hot takes, it's to sell. He has a book coming out. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, so then also, like, why do you think that Scottie Pippen raves about Kobe the way he does? What's similar about Kobe? Kobe was the Pippen to Shaq's Jordan. Kobe didn't want to be known as that, and he was on record telling the media he did not want to be known as a sidekick. He didn't want to be the next Scottie Pippen. He wanted to show that he could be the #1 guy and lead a team to a championship. That's what Kobe eventually did. And you look at all his accolades. Pippen is jealous of that, okay? Scottie Pippen, when the Bulls won their 6th title, Scottie Pippen went to the Houston Rockets and got his big payday, $67 million. But guess what? Scottie Pippen eventually got traded to the Portland Trail Blazers because, number one, he wasn't comfortable in the offense that Rudy T played, and number two, he felt that Charles Barkley didn't put in the work to show that he wanted to win a title. And Hakeem was past his prime. Then you look at 2000. Scottie Pippen gets traded to a stacked Blazers team that had Rasheed Wallace, All-Star. They had former 3-time All-Star Deathless Shrimp coming off the bench. They had Steve Smith, former All-Star for the Atlanta Hawks. They had Mighty Mouse Damon Stoudemire, who was the Rookie of the Year with the Toronto Raptors. They had Bonzi Wells coming off the bench, who was a really good player. They had Jermaine O'Neal, who they didn't use a lot, who would eventually become a 6-time All-Star. They had Arvydas Sabonis. He was past his prime with the injuries, but still a very good player. So, so my point is, and the thing was, is that Scotty was the leader of the team. Yeah, he was older, but he was the leader of the team. He couldn't lead them past the Lakers. He was close. But the thing is, that's why he's also mad at Phil Jackson. Because the thing is also, the triangle helped Scottie Pippen become who he is too. The practices he had with Michael Jordan and Scotty's work ethic and his development made him who he is. But now he sees a different light, and now he doesn't want, to be known for that. He wants to be known as, like, I'm a #1. And it's like, Scotty, you're always going to be known as a Robin. You were the greatest Robin that the NBA has probably ever seen with Michael Jordan. Okay? Most guys in your position as a #1 guy wish they could have multiple titles like you as the #1 guy, and they weren't able to get it done. But you're still complaining, and you're constantly changing your stances on LeBron versus Jordan. You're a point forward just like LeBron is. Similarities, wingspan, similarities. That's why you cater to LeBron like a lot, because he reminds you of you. But to sit here and say that Kevin Durant was not a team player, you got to see if Kevin Durant could will a team to a championship. I partly agree with that. But then to say that he's not a team player and that who was his help in the 2016 NBA Finals, that's a hot take. Because if you're going to say that he didn't have any help, then I would say that you didn't make the All-Star team in 1991 when Jordan won the championship. Jordan was the only All-Star on that team. Just like LeBron was the only All-Star the only All-Star in 2016. But am I stupid enough to say that neither Jordan or LeBron had help? And the answer is no. So Scotty's insecurities are from the fact that he feels he's on the same level, if not higher than Michael Jordan. And also he is insecure that Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant accomplished things that he couldn't. As a matter of fact, Durant led the league in scoring 4 times. LeBron James was 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year. Scottie Pippen, it was amazing to me that Scotty's never even been Defensive Player of the Year in his career, which I thought he should have had an opportunity for. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a lengthy video, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the whole Scottie Pippen, Kevin Durant beef, and then just providing context on some of the myths that have been put on Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is great. Nobody's denying that, but people are failing to tell the truth without context, and they're over glorifying it to diminish. And it's like, if we're going to keep doing this, and it's like, it's going to be the same to said about other great players. When you look at a LeBron, when you look at a Kobe, when you look at a Kevin Durant, they got their lovers and they got their haters. What we got to stop being is we got to stop being biased, and we got to start being objective. That's the problem. It's like people just want to put out half-truths and not say the whole story. Pippen is all-time great. He helped Jordan win those championships. Rodman was only there for 3 of them, but Pip was there for all 6. With Jordan, with Phil. But like Kevin Durant said, they listened to Phil. They didn't listen to you. Yeah, you were. Listen, Scotty was a great teammate. You know, he was able to put around guys and make guys feel comfortable around. Okay? Scotty did help some of those guys. But remember, what Scotty was teaching those guys, he learned from Phil Jackson. Just like Jordan learned from Phil Jackson. And the Bulls did not win championships until your development, sir. Once you develop, you and Jordan were pretty much the staple of those championship teams. So I'm putting you in that same line with Jordan, but Jordan was the best player in 6 of those NBA championships. And Jordan, you can make a case about Dennis Rodman, obviously in 96, that he should have won finals MVP. So I'm on record as saying that, because Jordan did not play well in that series. But even on Jordan's worst NBA finals, he still was able to put up almost 30 points. But like I said, Dennis Rodman has a case for MVP. Probably should have won it. But my point is, Scotty, you out here complaining, bro. All you're doing is hurting yourself. When you look into the mirror and you're going to say to yourself, I'm being this petty, I'm being this childish because I feel like I'm not getting attention. Look what your wife Larsa's doing, but yet look how you're acting right now. Scottie Pippen is not at peace with his NBA career. But there's things that you could have done better, Scotty. You just didn't do them. When it comes to your finances, and then when it comes to your basketball career. And you had a great career. Scotty, you're one of the greatest to ever lace him up. I call you probably the second greatest Chicago Bull in NBA in Bulls history. I don't even know if Scotty has a statue outside, but you know. So like I said, you're important. You are important in Bulls history. But you have to also remember something. As much as Jordan couldn't win without you, you couldn't win without Jordan neither. That's a fact, okay? And the teams that you were on, let's be really honest. You played with Barkley, Olajuwon. They were past their prime, but you still played with them. And then in 2000, you was on that stacked Blazers team that almost went to the NBA Finals. And that's what's eating you alive. The fact that you couldn't lead the team to a championship. The fact that you couldn't win an MVP, regular season MVP. The fact that you were never a Finals MVP. That's the problem, and that's what's hurting you. You only have an All-Star MVP to look for it on an exhibition showcase, which they now named the Kobe Bryant Award. Go figure. Scotty, your hot takes are only going to make you look bad, bro. Especially the ones that can see through your BS because you're trying to get attention to sell books. But hey, if that's what Scottie Pippen wants to do, let him do it. So ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Lewis with another one, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Bless up, live, flat, love. Thank you guys for watching.